ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. The first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I shot him. The thing is, okay, he was right.
If it's from the heart, it's always good.
This is going to be my first attempt at a live commentary-esque video, if you can even call it that. I expect it to have little to no correction, no script. It's probably gonna be all over the place. That being said, while I definitely do have the opportunity to kind of Destiny Rising is better slop farm, or guys, the community is actually really bad, didn't you know? Or just doom post about, guys, look at the Steam chart numbers and completely misinterpret like the whole point. I decided to go for something different. I like to talk about apathy and more specifically what it really means to me. I think a common question that I generally get asked when I'm streaming Quick Plug is always, whether it's from new players, returning players, yada yada, is why do you still play this game? How do you still play this game? And when I think about it, I guess the first thing that really comes to mind is the fact that I don't think I've been particularly vocal, at least with Bungie, about my feedback since maybe Heresy, and before that, I genuinely don't even know. Maybe like the year prior, like when Checkmate was first getting revealed. But last time I really spoke on anything was just, hey, these are really hot topics. These are kind of more problematic things that are really affecting the comp experience. This is what makes Ascendant Zero a bit more miserable than what it really has to be. And I wouldn't say that, oh, you know, Kami's given feedback, Forsaken guy, Shadowkeep guy, he's given feedback, everyone listen up. It's more so that some of these problems, they've only been exacerbated. It's only gotten really worse. It's hard to really name besides, I think they added comp weapons. You can actually get a comp weapon from winning games. It's like 50-50 at Ascendant, which is great and all, but also at the same time, we decided to put all of the comp weapons in Xur, and there's no real way to focus or attune for them. So if you're a new player coming in and you see Ill Physics slide on you with his rose, and you're like, wow, how do I get that gun? And then he just tells you, yeah, you're gonna have to gamble at Xur, good luck. So it hasn't been sold as of now, by the way. I think to, touch on the population just simply because I have to, this game has always been really volatile. I'm personally not going to infer or really draw any real conclusions from the data. I'll provide a link to the site, probably somewhere in the title. This game has always been really volatile, whether it's D1, D2, it just doesn't matter. And that's what's made kind of turning, I guess, this game into like an actual career, actual real job. It's what makes streaming content creation. It just makes it really difficult. Problem is that Bungie has always had this mentality. I remember Countdown Rush especially, and also Checkmate. Those are not ready to be released in any capacity. They really needed more time in the oven, but instead we approach things with a fix it or release now, fix it later mentality, and it just ends up wasting a lot of dev time, resources, and it results in players just feeling like I'm just beta testing a product. Some of the more recent changes in the top have people questioning, did anyone actually read this through? Did someone read this out loud? And so dev time gets spent just drafting all of this up. It gets launched, and then before it even really gets launched, players just reading the TWAB and it's just like, what the fuck is this? Pardon my French. Another thing is really just Eververse greed. It's a really reoccurring issue that we're getting 6, 7, that's the meme, but 6 to 7 different Eververse sets just thrown into the game, and there's outrage, especially about the Iron Banner armor just being recycled. But don't worry, Bungie's come to the rescue. They're fixing the issue. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna stop. But it leads to a lot of frustration, right? Where people feel like, oh wow, you know, this isn't coming from the goodness of their heart. This is, we got caught kind of situation. And the question then becomes, would Bungie have even realistically done anything if people didn't speak out on it? And the crazy part is that this is the second time they've had to pull a set from Eververse and put it into the actual game.
We want to take an armor set that we were going to put in the Eververse, and we're saying, no. We should have communicated this earlier. It's really important that our fans can trust us. Let's take this armor set that we were going to use in Season 22 for the Eververse set, and let's say, no, it's going to be free, and we're going to put it as a ritual rewards.
The second time. The problem with the more volatile nature of the game, right, is the fact that this can very easily be someone's first impression, but also last impression of the game. Assuming you make it past, you know, once again, pardon my French, the atrocious onboarding that we have currently available, you actually make it into the ecosystem and all. How are you supposed to react when something that was previously just working is just suddenly held hostage and likely won't be fixed for be months, it could even be years sometimes, by Bungie? It's very hard to feel like you're actually just valued as a player and your feedback really matters. And I'll reiterate, I don't doubt that there are devs really trying their best. That's insane. But I don't doubt that there are devs trying their best and that there are people at Bungie who care, right? But this is, going back to Volatile nature, this is something that happens, it feels like, at least once a year. Where we're at the make or break point of the game and the franchise, and we're not sure if people are going to come back and give the game another chance. And it's very difficult to really get friends or people playing the game again, because we're effectively just bleeding players. We're just constantly going through this attrition where we're making a lot of the same mistakes, and it feels like we're not realistically learning from anything. It just feels like, well, they'll come back, right? And we're at a point where that just isn't really feasible anymore. Another thing that really also comes to mind, right, is that, you know, the whole Titan passive, yeah, that's been in the game since October 2024. And while there definitely have been mentions of it here or there, this is the first time that they've outright just admitted that, oh yeah, you know, the Titan passive? Yeah, it's been in the game since last year. They mentioned this, I think, most recent TWAB. So very recently, October of this year, just a year later. But hey guys, just get used to it. Not bad. But the volatile nature of the game just also makes some activities effectively impossible to play. If you're looking to play comp and you happen to be in OCE or just like another region, and say you even are playing at prime time, there's a good chance that you're going to just get bunkers. And for a lot of people, that's just unacceptable. You shouldn't have to go to your NA or EU best friend and just be like, hey, let me queue comp with you, please. It's just a miserable experience for everyone involved, especially with connections. On the flip side, if you happen to be a bit better at the game, you're likely going to have to deal with skill-based matchmaking, and ultimately that means that, well, there's a good chance you may never find a match. Or, even better, you're just going to be matching the same people over and over and over again. And, you know, I've even heard in Fire Team Finder, it's impossible to avoid matching a cheater at this point. And if you played Trials with him, I'll say, past 5 years, pretty common experience as well. And it's just really unfortunate where you just have to ultimately accept that this is comp experience. This is just what Trials looks like. And worse yet, you just have to accept in some regions, well, I'm never going to be able to do a raid again, or I'm never going to be able to do comp again, because even the LFGs, they're really suffering. Now, I don't want to turn this into Edge of Fate is actually the worst DLC ever released, but if you were to share that opinion, I would get it. I would understand. That being said, I don't think it's a sin to enjoy the game in its current state. I think for a lot of people, well, a lot of people don't consider it right. So if you're a predominantly solo player, this DLC probably hasn't done anything too crazy for you. It hasn't, I guess, drastically affected your game time or experience. But say if you're more of a, you like to play with your friends, there's a good chance that your friends likely don't even play anymore. And it's a struggle to even get people on for a raid. And going from someone who's more, I guess, social in that aspect to suddenly just not really having anyone to play with, it's very difficult to really want to keep going, to keep playing. This is especially noteworthy for PvP players, where I can't remember the last time I ran stack trials. I can't remember the last time that I was able to put together 5 more of my friends and just say, hey, let's run a raid. I had to ask friends from my Twitch chat, viewers from my Twitch chat, to run the new exotic mission because the usual people I would play with don't play the game anymore. And it's gotten to this point, right? And once again, this is not a new thing. This is a reoccurring thing, right? That over the years, you have opulence, and then it's followed up with Shadowkeep. You have Arrivals, it's followed up with Beyond Light. You have 30th Anniversary, and you have Witch Queen, and that seems to follow the trend. It seems like things are getting better, but you have to slog through years and years and years of seasonal content, and you get rewarded with Lightfall. And this cycle just seems to really continue. Into the Light, Pantheon, Final Shape, then seasonal content. And you can't expect players to really want to stick through that just simply due to the volatile nature, just the lack of, I guess, real consistency. And I really need to drive this home. It is not a sin to enjoy this game. It is not a crime to love this game, to want this game to succeed, to play this game through the highs and lows. And I don't want this video, and I don't want anyone's takeaway to be, oh man, the game's in, you know, a drier spot, to put it lightly. I should quit the game. No, by all means, keep playing. Enjoy what you enjoy. But for me, I'm at a point where, understandably, you can argue that maybe I'm burnt out. I've just done this song and dance for so long that eventually I went off this ride. Probably the best comparison I can really ever make is it's a toxic relationship. And for a lot of people have fallen in love with this game's potential. Just the if and when, just wait. We're just so close. This will be make or break. Guys, you don't get it. Eventually, and all these what ifs and could be or should be get thrown around, but it never will be. Never has been. And that's the really frustrating part. And ultimately, I've just reached a point of it is what it is. If the game gets better, great. If the game gets worse, it is what it is. People want to be vocal. People want to share their feedback. But it feels like it just gets dismissed so easily. I think probably the last time we really even heard from a game director, I believe it was Joe Blackburn at the time, and now it's Tyson Green, correct me if I'm wrong. It's back in 2023. We have not heard anything from Tyson Green. And what really made the state of the game, the last state of the game that we had so special, is that it just came really out of nowhere. It talked about PvP, talked about a map pack, the ability issue, and by all means, I wouldn't say that every single thing that Joe Blackburn put together and the map pack, I wouldn't say it was the greatest thing in the world, but it was the fact that he went out of his way, brought up, hey, these are our pain points, and these are the actions that were taking place. It made things feel so much better. And in comparison, I don't think we've heard anything from him. We haven't heard about, hey, this is what's going on with Edge of Fate. And the crazy thing is that since the Vidoc a month ago, there's been no mention of the roadmap that was promised previously, outside of it's coming soon. We have to get the team together and it's coming soon. I don't think I can even put into words how frustrating that is, how frustrating that can be. Just constantly, I guess, almost being led on, in a sense. Because the direction just keeps changing and changing and changing and changing. And you can't really blame people for, I guess, not necessarily looking forward to Marathon. Or looking forward to what is going to be the next potential project from Bungie. Because if this is how they're effectively handling their Golden Goose, can I really trust them on Destiny 3? And can I trust them on other projects? And that's just not something I want to feel. I don't think people should feel this just general distrust towards the studio. But that's unfortunately just the reality it's been setting in for years. Just how many chances can we really give them before we kind of just accept that, well, this is what the game is now. This is how things are. They don't have to be this way. But ultimately, this is just how things go. And a lot of that just stems from lack of direction, broken promises. I think a really big thing is the fact that D2 has such a horrible stain associated with it.
Can you stop? Can you stop now? Can you stop? Can I play the video game? Like, can you stop? Are you done? Oh my god! Fucking game, man.
But even assuming that you're able to convince someone to give the game a chance, right? They still have to deal with the onboarding. You know, not doing revisionist history and saying that Red War is perfect by any means. But we need some form of actual stability, some real story to follow, and not be told, oh yeah, you know, you saw that cutscene? It seems really cool, right? But the only archive of it is in a Destiny video that Addo made years ago. They have people asking, oh hey, how do I get Thorn? And I have to tell them, just get it from the kiosk. Add Juju, Hawkmoon. Wait for Zer to sell it, get it from the kiosk. We've effectively just sunset so much content that everything just feels so out of place. Like it's not supposed to be here. And I think a lot of that just stems from the fact that there's like 4 or 5 systems all working in tandem against one another. And that's assuming that the systems by themselves are even working. And going back to the whole stain analogy, is that at a certain point, well, a lot of people, understandably, distrust Bungie. We really do just need Destiny 3. I don't think people are necessarily fatigued or burnt out of the franchise. I think Destiny Rising has really proven that. And I think probably a big thing that really helps it, right, is the fact that it has a lot of quality of life that people have been begging for since the very beginning of the game. Whether it's leaderboards, a horde mode, I guess an actual proper roguelike experience, constantly having something to really chase for. Don't get me wrong, it's still a mobile game, it's still a gacha. But being able to see, hey, these are the perks that I want on my gun. Just so easy, just being able to have a drop down. And this is what the devs recommend. It's such a crazy feature that it's kind of like, why don't we have this yet? Things like being able to ping what's going on. I've been asking for years, and it just feels like it falls on deaf ears. And I'll also add, I don't think that if Bungie just gets possessed by Zeus, and they're capable of Herculean, just biblical acts of God that it would fix the game. I don't think bringing back Leviathan and all these things in the game would fix it. I genuinely don't. But I also realize that, understandably, people are going to just miss playing that content and having it into, like, actually in the game and being able to play it. Yeah, not everyone is going to play through Red War 8 million times. Usually a lot of people are going to be one and done. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have it in the game still. What am I witnessing? Okay. But you can't really fault people for wanting stuff in the game that they were able to play previously. This isn't to say that we can't have FOMO or you just had to be there moments, but it really feels like that's all we have sometimes. And that's just a shame. Because Destiny is just so much more than that. I just want to circle back to Eververse for a second. I think really just having more things that you can tell people that, hey, I went out and did this, and that's why I have this now. I think moments like that are important. I think probably one of my first memories of Destiny go back to D1 with the whole like Nightfall blue aura that people would have like around their heads, and I'd just be like, well, what do I have to do for that? And it made me actually want to go out of my way and do the weekly Nightfall. But if you told me that, oh, this is just an effect that you buy, it would just lose my interest so fast. We just need more aspirational activities, more aspirational rewards, things that really encourage people to get involved in the game. Onboarding system that just drags people in, or not drags people in, but encourages them to really get involved in the ecosystem, play the game more, and be excited with the content that they're interacting with. And I think in that aspect, I think the portal is a complete failure. There's still new players coming in. They're just in the director, not knowing that all the things that they're working towards, ultimately they won't be able to take with them. And that's just really sad. But this is probably longer than what it ever needed to be. And like I said, it's definitely all over the place. I appreciate you if you really did make it this far. Still stream on Twitch. Occasionally I use Twitter. And next video will be out before next year, I promise. But I'll see you guys around later. Peace.